Good morning and welcome to Centers for Spiritual Living Boulder Valley. We're in Lafayette, Colorado, and we're this super sweet little community that just has a lot of fun. We get together and do potlucks, and amazing conversations take place. Centers for Spiritual Living is an organization that honors all people. All people are welcome. All people are invited to come play. We start our Zoom church, like I like to call it, with a prayer. So I'm going to drop into a prayer. And actually, I'm going to stop for just a second. Hey, Catherine, are you up for praying us in?
Yes, sure.
Awesome. Catherine Snyder is going to pray us in.
Okay, I'm going to take a moment and sink into your space. Become present. Become present. Breath. Feel your heart beating, the blood circulating in your body, the air around you, the sounds around you. So it becomes centered into our bodies, into our humanity. This great gift that was given us by our Creator, the life force, the spirit that is everywhere. And knowing we all have this gift, knowing that we're all here to be together, to listen to words of wisdom, knowing that our hearts, will be touched if we open them. It's with great gratitude for our time together and for these words that James is going to speak, that I just say thank you to the universe, and I release this, saying, and so it is.
So it is. Blessed be. Thank you, Catherine. Catherine Snyder is a practitioner. She's gone through a 2-year training program to be trained as a spiritual coach. And she ongoingly studies and grows and develops. Practitioners are one of the beautiful contributions that CSL Boulder Valley brings to not only the culture here in the Boulder Valley, but the energy that they create impacts and blesses the whole planet. I'm going to start a screen share and do a talk.
This is our place, come on in. Our place, so glad you're here. Our place, everybody's welcome. We see God on every face. Love lives here in this place. Welcome to our place, our sweet place.
Figuring out or inviting inner guidance. The lenses, filters, or patterns of toxic masculinity blocks and stops our connection to inner guidance. So this is going to be a 2-part talk. I'm going to be talking about inviting forward our inner guidance, and we're going to be segueing into healing toxic masculinity or toxic patriarchy. So put on your hats. This is going to be kind of a little different talk. Toxic patriarchy or toxic masculinity is a term whose meaning has changed over time. But today, it's used to describe violent, destructive, or anti-feminine behaviors that people accept and even teach as natural for men and boys. And by the way, this just isn't about people with masculine energy. This is about people with feminine energy too. Women dance the dance inside of toxic masculinity. And quite often, people with feminine energy, women, so to speak, have toxic masculinity challenges as well.
Mm.
playing with my computer here, one moment. Oops, I just messed things up. Let me move stuff
Oh.
back. There we go. Okay. As divine humans, we're gifted with amazing intellectual tools for rational problem solving. We've become so reliant on and infatuated with our intellects, so rightly proud of our ability to figure things out, that we can be thrown for a loop when situations where figuring it out just doesn't work. We've forgotten we can tune into the deeper intelligence available within us. This intuition transcends intellectual understanding and invites forward our divine solution. It's up to us to release our need to figure it out and invite inner guidance to lead us into the new territory of our brand new day. Before I move into the second subplot here, I've got an invitation. My invitation is, as we're communing together, as y'all are listening to this talk, you be thinking about when you've transformed toxic masculinity or toxic patriarchy in your life. And it doesn't just have to be toxic masculinity coming at us. It can be something that gets healed from inside. When we heal the toxic masculinity that we were taught as kids and in school and our culture, our lives transform. So I'm going to have that conversation afterwards. I'm going to ask people to share about when they've transformed internal masculinity, toxic masculinity, or maybe they've dealt powerfully or had challenges with toxic masculinity around them. I believe there's one God, and she was like the single woman. And she was just dating. She went out on multiple dates with multiple prophets. That's how it happened. She said the exact same thing to different prophets, the exact same thing. But because they were men, they understood different shit and wrote down different shit. And that became religions. That's all religion is. It's mansplaining. I'm going to talk about what mansplaining is. Mansplaining is the explanation of something by a man, typically to a woman, in a manner regarded as condescending or patronizing. And then on the flip side, and I'm generalizing here a bit, on the flip side, the circles of women around us weave invisible nets of love that carry us when we are weak. We need to sing. That carry us when we are weak and sing with us when we are strong. From my perspective, people with feminine energy have been coming together and creating cohesiveness together for thousands of years. Most cultures on the planet have been dealing with toxic masculinity or toxic patriarchy for thousands of years. And as we are in this new age, I'm going to call it a new age of social media. See, with social media and all of the information bombarding us, we have lots of room to transform. We have lots of room to embrace healing toxic patriarchy and toxic masculinity. As people take apart the cultural toxic patriarchy training and indoctrinations, there's more and more access to noticing the direct inner knowing, those exquisite connections with inner spirit. Back to our regularly scheduled program here. There comes a point when seeking to untangle our problems, when we're invited to surrender our intellectual struggle and allow a deeper divine intelligence to come forward with its perfect solution. that inner intelligence operates on a deeper level than the busy push-pull, plus-minus processes of rational thought. The world's great scientists and inventors have sought to access this direct inner knowing, often reporting that breakthrough ideas were revealed in dreams or semi-waking states of consciousness. This is Thich Nhat Hanh. I think God is on earth, inside every living being. What we call the divine is none other than the energy of awakening, of peace, of understanding, and of love, which is to be found not only in every human being, but in every species on earth. Time spent in our spiritual practices of meditation and spiritual mind treatment, affirmative prayer, can bring us into closer communion with our inner wisdom. One common element in all these techniques is a willingness to relax, release, and simply allow the gift to be given. One affirmation helpful in establishing this surrendered, receptive attitude is, I don't know how, but Spirit does. The little me, the ego, separate, gotta figure it out me, may not know how, but the bigger truth of me, Spirit knowing and expressing itself as me, absolutely has this handle. Subway back to the subplot here. Let's be very clear. Strong men who are true role models, don't need to put down women to make themselves feel powerful. People who are truly strong lift each other up. People who are truly powerful bring others together. The inner information we're seeking can sometimes reveal itself through that still small voice within us. But it's just as apt to show up in some random coincidence in our outer experience. Sometimes these signals are so gentle we might miss them if we're not paying attention. A book falls open to a useful quote. An overheard conversation names the perfect contact or resource for our next step. Sometimes, though, they darn near shout out. We ask for a sign whether to move to Florida, then we're stopped in traffic by a bus whose banner ad says, "Move to Florida." The one mind arranges these synchronicities, and conscious intuition and intellect communicate with each other through these outer occurrences. Those moments are good reminders that the veil between is thinner than we think. We can appreciate the little and sometimes silly nudges as much as the big giant 2x4s that whack us over the head. One friend calls them God winks. They tickle. They make us smile or sometimes even laugh out loud in gratitude. They're the universe's confirmation we're loved. We're on the right track and Spirit's got our backs. So I did a transformational seminar in 1993. It was a 3-day seminar. And at the end of the seminar, I was hugging a friend, tall guy, he's like 6'4". And I grabbed onto him and squeezed him really, really hard. And he whispers in my ear, "James, relax. Be gentle. Be present in this now moment as we hug." And he's whispering that in my ear. All this stuff cascaded through me. One of the things that started healing in that moment was the toxic patriarchy I learned from my dad. My dad taught me how to hug, and he would grab onto people and, squeeze really, really hard. And as this guy was coaching me, whispering in my ear, how to hug. All this stuff moved through me about, oh, I do know how to be gentle. I do know how to be present when I'm hugging somebody else. Maya Angelou. Each time a woman stands up for herself without knowing it possibly, without claiming it, she stands up for all women. Figuring out or inviting inner guidance. The universe is constantly offering us all we need for our journey. Whispers and shouts, God winks, and happy accidents, large and small. As we consciously invite more of its wisdom and guidance into our awareness, new ideas, new directions, and new possibilities are revealed. We can step into action, trusting we're aligned with our highest good and the highest good of all. I'm going to stop the recording. If you're watching this recording, I bless you. I honor you. You are welcome at Centers for Spiritual Living.